We'll open up to questions for Bruce. Starting with 2 off the top from Chris, then we'll go to Danny.
Hey, Bruce. Chris Chapman, Fox Sports Las Vegas postgame show. I think it's the 5th straight game you guys have fallen down 1-0, but 4 of those 5 games you've come back to win. So I guess just what does it say about the resiliency of the team?
Well, we're certainly comfortable being down 1-0. It tells me that, which I'm less comfortable with because I didn't love our start again tonight. And it's something we're trying to address. And when you address something and it doesn't change, that's when as a coach you're like, okay, well, we're going to keep working on it. Yet I love our middle parts of the game. We're finishing games well. So you got to be careful, that you don't forget about that. So I guess to answer your question, our guys know we're not starting on time and playing our best hockey early on. So that's the good news. It's not like they're fighting you on it. So they know they got to get to their game. It's too good a league if you start cheating. It gets 2-0, 3-0, you're in trouble. So I will say that there's a recognition that we need to get better, and we typically do. And then once we get going, we're pretty good at that. So I thought tonight our second period was one of our best periods we played in a long time. Yeah, it was 0-0 in the period, but still that type of hockey is what we're looking for. Again, guys are fine with it. We don't want it to be a thing all year. It's becoming one, so we've got to be really careful with that. But at the end of the day, it's good when your team doesn't panic and has composure late in games to put games away and when you're down a goal, especially at home, so you're not forcing things and digging yourself a bigger hole. So that's the good news.
It's not really a secret that Brett Howden and Keegan Colasar are close friends. They've worked together in the offseason. They kind of push each other, it seems. So how important is it for those two guys, not only just to push each other, but it seems like they kind of feed each other as well during the course of a game. Like one guy scores a goal, the other guy scores another one, makes a big play to set up another goal. Just kind of talk about how important it is to have guys like that.
Yeah, I think it's the next wave of kind of leaders on the team, right? That we've talked about that age group where Hag and Whitecloud are going through it with a little more veteran D, right? So they have to push each other to try to catch those other if they want more minutes. And I think Howie and Coley are looking at it that way. If we want to pass people in the lineup this year, they kind of looked around and said, we've been around here a lot longer than some of the other newer faces or even the younger guys like Pav. Let's get after it, And I thought they came in tremendous shape. They looked very good in training camp from day one. So whatever they got going on, keep it going because it's worked well for us. We've needed it. And the Coley goal was huge because, like I said, we were not where we wanted to be at that point. It was a good play. We killed the penalty. We come out of the box, and to get the equalizer, now the fans are into it. It's a nice goal, and we could settle in and play. So the timing of it was great. And same with Howie's. His was the second one, wasn't it? Like on the right, going to the net again. Like interior ice, we talk about it over and over. Like Coley's, hey, they caught him in a line change, whatever, he gets sprung. But Howie's is typically, he's going to the top of the blue paint, and puck finds him. It's a good play by Jack on the draw, and there we are. So we're fortunate to have them. They're playing well, and we needed it. It was a bit of we'd hoped would happen this year when we looked at our roster, and it has.
Danny and Willie.
Bruce, Danny Webster, Las Vegas Review-Journal. You mentioned the slow start, and it seemed like you kind of switched up the forward lines to kind of get them going as well and move Brett to the top line. Were you more pleased with the fact that they were able to adjust when you made those changes, especially knowing that maybe things didn't start the way that you were looking for there? Yeah,
and then listen, Howie knows by now this year he's not finishing where he starts. It's just the way it works. He could go into the middle. And I think there's a certain comfort in that for him that he knows the coach is confident in what he's doing, right? And that's a credit to him. He's built that up over the last 2.5 years. And Colasar's getting more minutes now. He's playing sometimes with a little bit different situations, more on the penalty kill. So going back to the original question, I think that helps them be better leaders when they know that they're counted upon to for a little extra responsibility. So how he deals with it, fine. You always worry about the guys that are going down. Okay, well, how are they going to respond? Are they going to be pouting, or are they going to accept that, hey, I need to play better? Coach isn't happy with me. I'm letting my teammates down. Whatever's going through their head, they have to be able to park it and get going. So I give them as much credit as well. They missed some time by design a little bit. Hey, send a message, even though you're ahead of goal. We need to be better. And they were. I think everyone responded well. The lines looked good after that. Could we have went back to how we started? Probably at that point. We probably would have got good games from everybody, but like, let's just let it ride, and then we'll see what Monday brings in terms of how they shake out.
Willie Ramirez for the Hockey News. I think early on in the season with Elia, statistically, may not have been where you'd want him, comfort zone, but I believe he improved to 8-3-1. What are you seeing as far as the complementary play you're getting from your Minders now?
Yeah, I mean, this is a tougher schedule for him right now. We're playing less games. Hilly's going well, so we want to not lose Sammy. It was a little bit that way earlier in the year, and then he got hurt, right? So that's when things changed a bit. So coming off his injury, trying to find the right starts for him. And good for him to stay ready. I was really happy with his game in Mini. Considering the schedule, he had to go in at 7:30 on the Saturday. We're in Edmonton because ice is early to get work on to be ready for Sunday's games at 5. So we were not going to skate. So to kind of go the extra mile to prepare, and he's done that a lot lately coming off his injury. Now, before it was a little more regular schedule, so I'm not saying he wasn't preparing right, but he's been throwing a bit of a curveball here and there and some getting the second half of back-to-backs. I thought he's done a really good job staying in the moment, just controlling what he can control. And my name's on the board to start. I'm ready to go. And he did a good job tonight. I said that between periods. I thought the chances were fairly even in the first period, even though we're up 3-1. I thought our guy was a little better than their guy in the first period. And so let's not get ahead of ourselves as a team and think, we're out playing this team. We're not. We've just gotten a couple extra saves. And then they got a lot of saves in the second period. And, so I thought both goaltenders were pretty good. And then the third period kind of is what it is. But good on Sammy. So we'll look at it, and every time he puts up a solid game, that's easier for us to go back to him, right? That's how coaches think, right? And the team will respond no matter who's in there, and that's when you have something. When both goalies, whoever's in there, the team just plays the same way, knowing, hey, that guy's going to be ready, going to give us stops. There's always going to be the odd night it doesn't work out, but in general. So right now, that's where they're both at.
Ken.
I know you were talking about the starts not being particularly good, but is there something that you feel like is happening that's allowing you to snap out of it? Like, is there same thing happening every time?
Well, it just feels like what we're not doing early is to executing well enough, probably coming out of our end. We spend a little extra time or we ice a puck, and then what snaps out of us as the other team scores, and we got to get going, right? Unless we want to chase it even more. So I think there's a little bit of that. I think there's guys just recognizing, hey, we're not good enough right now. And it's not like they're in the la-la land. It's just they're not at the level they need to be to start. So, and they know it. So that's the good thing is the problem is being recognized, and it's just taking us a little longer probably to get through it than we'd like, and hopefully we just shorten that span to the point where we got it right. So I think it's that simple. We got to get the next goal to stay in the game and get to our game because we can be better. I think that's what happens, and it's been a different guy. I said tonight it was Coley, and we kill a penalty, and we happen to get a break coming out of the box and at the right timing, but we finish. So I guess that would be the part of it. We finish the play to get back to even so that we can take a breath and say, okay, let's go. And that to me seems how it's been playing out a lot.
Last one, Alan.
Bruce, when you're able to write down these 6 defensemen game after game, do you feel like you have the best 6-man group in the league?
I do. I haven't seen every team this year to say, to critique I don't think we've played everybody, right? So I can't, I would have to go through that, but yes. Yeah, the short answer is yes, we do. And I feel like their game is pretty solid now to the last. They're going to have, again, they're like everybody. Their starts could be cleaner. It usually starts with them because a lot of times teams start by dumping pucks in, right? That's pretty much the strategy everywhere. And so they're the ones that are under the most duress early. They got to get back and be the cleanest in terms of execution. So, and they play through it. I think the pairs are complementing one another. We're getting now who scored tonight, Nick, right? Hanny. The other night it was Petro. Theo's come out of it a bit. So now they're bringing some offense too, which I think always makes your team feel better. I think the goals against is down to 2 a night in general. So, they're feeling pretty good about themselves because they're a huge part of that. So right now, yes, I love our D-core and how they're going. They go hang 7 on us Monday. I'm going to come back at you and say, But at the end of the day, like, they're the drivers of this team. We've always said that. 2 years ago, I felt that, or 3 years ago, felt that way last year. The problem was last year was health a little bit. I think this year we've gotten through, who's missed time? Nick, right? Maybe a game or two here or there for the other 5 guys. So there's a little bit of that continuity too, especially for Hanny and Petro. We didn't start them that way this year, so now we've stuck with it. So that's probably helped them as well.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.